welcome. I do not have an intro, but I have a very long video for you. I have no idea how this video ended up being so long. It wasn't even that much footage. I've checked it. I thought that maybe I haven't sped it up correctly, but no, it is just very long. I have not cut anything from it. I usually have stuff that I cut out, stuff that is repetitive, stuff that didn't work out, but even when I cut stuff, it still was pretty long. So here you go. It is what it is. I was planning on doing this here in this specific position, like right at the foot of the mountain, on the other side of the tunnel, so across from the what do I call it? Raccoons. This is actually where I absolutely 100% always have planned to put penguins. For some reason, I looked at this like curve in the road and I was like, oh, perfect for a penguin pool. So that is where I wanted to put them, and I ended up putting them. I was shortly considering to putting the raccoons there and then something else across from it, but I kind of liked the idea of having these two like raised paths and a main path going along it. And yeah, I think they really work well across from each other, although the raccoon and the penguin doesn't really have anything to do with each other, but I do think they work well. One thing I have to mention about this building here is that to the side it will kind of continue sort of like a gate or what do I call it? Like a thing that is over a path, like a roof over a path and you have to pass under it. I don't know, but something like this so a car can go under it. I don't know. And something like this we will build out of it. It will be a staff area back there, so the building basically continues on the other side, kind of like a one continuous thing. One side is penguin, other side is staff. So that is what it is planned, but first of all, I just honestly didn't feel like doing the staff area yet. And then also this would have been even longer if I put that together, and I think that cutting it where the penguins cut it is perfect. So that's why I chose this. Building this enclosure actually is out of the art pieces, if you've noticed that. It's not the plaster pieces that I usually use for things like this. And I've seen it in a video. I don't quite remember whose video it was. I will put the name on the screen if I remember, but I've seen this before, that building with the art pieces is actually amazing for doing more intricate design because it doesn't have Z-fighting, so if you have to overlayer a lot of it, it won't look weird. And like I say, intricate design, you might be wondering, well, this is just like windows. I did plan something more intricate, and I kind of got stuck and I was like, oh, maybe I'd try making the easier part, and I actually like that more, so I stick with the easier viewing gallery because I think it does the same thing in this situation. It didn't need like a crazy feature because this already has a lot of features, so I don't know. I stick with a normal viewing gallery, and I don't think I've ever built a viewing gallery that had the guests outside looking into the indoor section. I don't think I've ever done this, which is kind of crazy. I usually kind of either have the indoor section just reserved for the animals and the keepers, or have people come inside. I don't think I even have actually done that. Maybe. Oh my god, no, I have not. Okay, it's time to build an entirely indoor section enclosure. Let's face it. Okay, on the list. But yeah, so wow, that really took me out of it for a second there. But yeah, I had never done that then, apparently, and it was fun to do. I've recently seen a picture of a penguin enclosure that had this. So yeah, the pool and kind of featuring it into the mountain, that was always what I planned for the penguins, but the building kind of wasn't. That was kind of some afterthought that I had. And like I said, I started out with a different design, but decided to go with the easier one. And that's why it's still made out of art shapes. Instead of plaster. In the end I could have used plaster, but I don't know. I like the art shapes. They also have very clean, very modern, which obviously fits this project. I have just recorded a very long voiceover I talked about it before. So Pearly J actually asked for tips on how to stay motivated and, like keep going with the project. Why can't I say the word project today? To like stay focused, stay motivated. And I honestly planned on having it in a ramble in a different video, but I ended up deciding to do a separate video on that. And the way I did it is do a voiceover, and now I have to find matching footage to it. So I hope that I'll get it done tonight, and then it will come out on Saturday. If not, then not. But I have no idea how long this will take. I've never recorded any tip videos, so if I just hope it will come out by Saturday. And obviously that will be an additional video. It won't replace any of the Speedbuild videos. It's just an additional little video on tips on how to actually, stick with the project. Oh my god, I don't know what it is. Project. But yeah, that's what I've just done. So I don't know, I've over exaggerated my talking abilities today. Straighten, I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. I have no idea how long I'll stay up tonight, because it's very late already, but my sleeping pattern is just like through the roof lately. And I mean, now that I don't have a rambling topic, because I did do a whole video on the rambling topic, I can ramble about something else. I had the weirdest dreams tonight. They are so dumb. And so scary, kind of. So not like, I don't know, don't think like super scary. I don't think it, you need to go away. But, so, okay, I had a dream that was I had 4 dreams, and they were all kind of weird. So the first dream was that, arguably the most scary one, I was on a plane, and I'm not scared of plane rides by any means, but I was there with one of my best friends, and then a friend that I have not seen since like 5th grade or like 6th grade. And I also haven't talked to her or anything, but those two were there with me, and someone was forcing us to jump out of the plane. And like no reason behind it. They were just like kind of aggressive and told us to jump from the plane, and we had to do it. And they kind of like kicked us off the plane in the end. And so we made it down safe, and then the plane crashed, and we saw the plane go down, and we were like, oh my god, like if we were on this plane, like we would have been in a plane crash, but now we haven't. And so obviously the plane crashed, and then I knew, like, how in dreams sometimes you just know things. I knew that my mom was trying to reach out to me because she heard on the news that the plane crashed, and she knew that I was supposed to be on that plane. And I was like very distressed because I couldn't call my mom to tell her that I was okay because I left my phone on the plane. So I was really distressed by not being able to call my mom in that moment. And so that was the first dream. I guess I woke up, or maybe not, I'm not sure. But the next dream is kind of stupid, but it's also funny, kind of. So I work at a zoo. And this is kind of important to the story. So I work at a zoo. I got to work in that dream, obviously. I got to work, and all of a sudden, like, I've never had a problem with a coworker. All of a sudden, everyone was really rude to me, and some people just have forgotten me. Like, some people just didn't know who I was, and the other ones were rude to me. And, like, I was like, what's going on? Like, what is happening? And then someone was like, they were like really aggressive when saying this, but they were like, well, how can you have never noticed that there is like a hippo enclosure in the entrance? And it was like an entirely different zoo. Like, that was not the zoo that I work at. It was more like a garden, and then it has this like entrance that kind of looked like a cinema. And there was like a hippo enclosure, like kind of integrated into this like cinema entrance. Like, there was a little really tiny pool out front that the hippo could go into, but it could also go inside. And it was very, very small. And they were all like, how could you not have noticed? Like, this is horrible. This is so bad for the animal. Are you not ashamed of working here? And it's so funny because when you're awake, you're like, what? All my coworkers obviously work at the zoo. So why am I the bad person for working there for this bad hippo enclosure? I'm also not the one having done the hippo enclosure. But for some reason, I felt really, really bad about it. And then I was like, wait, but I know that this is a very, very old enclosure. Like, the zoo doesn't have that enclosure anymore. And I was so sure that it was like this historic build that they just haven't, gotten rid of. And there were no hippos inside anymore when I looked at it. And then... oh my god, laughing actually had me like coughing really bad for a second there. So... when I mentioned that I thought that this enclosure was very old, what they did is in a moment, they pulled up a picture of Trixie Mattel posing with the hippos to prove to me that this was recent. Like, there was recent hippo enclosure-ish there, and they had a drag queen come in to say, this is recent, this is pop culture. And I was like, this was so dumb and random. When you wake up from a dream and you're like, what? But in that moment, I was like, wow, Trixie Mattel. That means that this must have been like this year or a couple of years ago. And she was like posing with the hippos. And I remember in the dream, I was like, it's kind of cool. I want to pose with hippos. So yeah, I mean, that was kind of the funny dream out of the four. But still kind of stressful to come to work and everyone is suddenly like dislikes you. And then I woke up in the next dream, I fell back asleep because I slept really bad tonight. And then the next dream, the friend that in the first dream was in a plane crash with me, she called me and she was like really upset and she was like, all my friends tell me that they hate me and that I can't be part of any groups anymore. And she was like very distressed about it, obviously. And I don't know, I don't even remember what I did. It was a very short dream. But it was again this like weird topic of people stop being around you, I guess. And then I woke up and then I fell back asleep. And this is kind of the dream that kind of concerns me the most. Even though it's not that scary, but I was at a shopping mall and I met a friend and he told me that two other friends of ours died in the plane crash. And this freaked me out because I knew that I was awake in between. I knew that the plane crash thing was a dream, but then someone else was referencing that and saying that someone has died in that plane crash, and that freaked me out. Like, even when I was awake after that, I was freaked out. So I don't know what I'm processing right now. I don't know. I've not been in a plane recently. But yeah, I don't know. If some of you really knows about dreams, let me know, because that was the first time I was swearing. But that stuff is crazy and scary. But yeah. Ooh. But back to the build, shall we? I'm sorry, I don't know. I love my rambles. I love talking about this kind of stuff. And overall, I think you guys have never mentioned that you don't like it. So I'll continue to talk about weird stuff like that. Unless someone stops me, and even then I probably won't. But yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to talk about it. I obviously told the friend that was in the dreams. But yeah, I don't know. Still needed to talk about it more. And I won't talk about it with my mom because she freaks out about this kind of stuff. Not dreams necessarily, but oh my god, I'm not going to talk about it now, but I had the scariest dream when COVID started. I had such a scary dream about hospitals, and she was kind of freaked out when I told her about it, which, I mean, understandably so, because, start of a pandemic, we all didn't really know what was going to happen to us, so obviously, my dreams were kind of scary, and I'm not really, easily shook by things. I can watch horror films and stuff like this, but for some reason, I sometimes have pretty weird dreams. I'm a very wild dreamer in general. Like, usually my dreams just don't make sense, and they wake me up, and I can laugh at them because they're so stupid. But sometimes they're like, but yeah. Anyway, back to the build. Like I said, I really like it. I really like this like stone wall, and I think it's kind of an easy way to not have to use terrain to just cover it up with rocks. Like, say you want a pool, and you don't want to have it enclosed by terrain, you can just make it out of barriers and then cover the lower barrier up with rocks. And then you also have to select the barrier and say that this is not the habitat barrier. So you can do that down in the menu, and that is actually a way easier way of doing this kind of stuff and not having to, fumble around with the barrier and the terrain and stuff. So that's really helpful. I'm also like recycling this little barrier right here that I've built for the raccoons. I will think that I will stick with this for a bigger portion of the park because I really like it. I think that it does the job, but it blends in really well with the floor. Because for a while now, we've been going with this concrete pathway thing, and I think that blends in really well. I'm not quite sure how it will go on in the next area. I do kind of want to maybe do an Asian area, but I don't know. I feel like everyone has done an Asian area at this point, and I feel like every zoo has an Asian area with like Asian themes. So I might do like a modernized version of an Asian theme. I don't know. I just don't know. I will see what I can come up with this, but I would like to have the two pandas together. So spoiler alert, I'll probably use the two pandas because they are fairly like good with the cold temperatures actually. So that will happen. And then we'll see. But yeah, we also have to fill in some areas in between that don't have anything in them yet. But yeah, I don't know. I like to skip things where in this part it wasn't even that I didn't have an idea for this area. I just didn't get to it yet. I thought that from the structure of how I go about things, it made more sense to do other things first. So that's what I did. This interior, I kind of freestyled it. It's not the prettiest, but I felt like penguins have to have something that is easy to clean. The outside is already not easy to clean. So I thought the indoor needed to be something that you could just wash, So I figured that I'll keep it pretty bare, pretty clean. They have a pool in there. They can walk around in there. I hit, like right now, these like sleeping things from the aquatic pack underneath, and that is basically all that they have in their indoor section. It's kind of sad, but like I said, I thought it made sense to have something that is easy to clean. And unfortunately, the keeper can't really traverse any of this, but it's the keepers, and this is sandbox. We don't really need them to, so I'm okay with this. And they kind of stand outside and throw the animal in through an made up door, but the animal can traverse everything actually very beautifully, which is great. So I'm not pressed about it. They can use everything, and that's all I ask for. So yeah, they won't be brought food, but again, this is sandbox and everything is turned off. So I'm okay with all of that. So yeah. But I guess that I've pretty much said all that I wanted to say and many, many more things. So for the last few seconds of this video, I will actually leave you with some music and some last few images, and then we will talk again in the real-time part. So see you! Alright, welcome. This is the penguin pool, and this is the indoor section. There's not really much to look at from the bird's eyes of bird. We're not looking at it from bird perspective. This is already a train wreck. Anyway, this is the raccoons. We'll do something over here probably. I know what we're gonna do here, and this is the polar bears, so this is the mountain. Just to get you situated. So when you come outside of the mountain is actually where we're gonna start and grab ourselves and put ourselves down here. So let's go some steps back. So when you come from this like mountain thing, we'll probably close this off further. You come outside out of here into the nice, sweet, warm sun. And this is actually the first enclosure that you're going to see, unless we put something here. I'm not sure yet. So you have a little bit of a look in here to see them actually on walking around on the ground. I should put something here to attract them over here, but I didn't really find something I liked. So, yeah, this is the main path. This is where you would just walk if you don't care about the animal attractions, I guess. But over here is the view into their enclosure. I quite like the water level. At first I wanted it to be higher, but I actually now really like it because if you crouch down, this is the perfect level. And if you stand up, it's really cool because you can actually see if someone's diving down here, but you do have a focus on the land area as well, which is where they spend more time. Is this a staff path? They keep walking through here. Why don't they take the normal path that's not like up and down, whatever. Okay, so anyway, I really like that you can actually take your time to look at them on land because it's where they spend more time, the king penguins. But when they do swim, you can look at them. This is not deep enough for deep diving, obviously. What are you doing, sir? He looks stuck, but it looks cool that he's standing there. Oh, one is swimming. Maybe he's... Oh, two is swimming. Oh god, we're stuck in the path. But yeah, like I said, they don't deep dive, so that's a pity. But yeah, really cool. Oh. Alright, anyway. So this is the elevated path here. And, I already started recording this once, and this guy scared me so bad. But, my PC crashed. Not the PC, the game, which is weird. It never crashes on me. I don't know. And then this is the indoor section that actually has two little penguin guys in here. Great. So this is the indoor section. Like I said, the whole thing here is they were supposed to have water in here, but it was easy to clean, and, kind of fun. And very straightforward viewing here, with a little bit of a roof. And then go around the corner. This is what I mean, like we will have a staff area, a staff building here that is sort of kind of connected by this roof. And then here I've actually, where is it? Oh, I've hidden it so well I can't even find it myself. Here I've hidden, barriers for... to stop the guests from going through here. So that is what I wanted. And yeah, we can also walk this normal path from down here. It has some benches. Obviously we have to finish over here, but I don't know what we're going to put there. I'll put more foliage on here to kind of cover the path behind it up. And realistically, you would have a way of going through from one to this side. But for the purposes of touring this, I think it's easier to have a one round way, So, yeah. Anyway, I hope that you liked it. I hope that you find this inspiring or fun. And, yeah, let me know what you think. And I hope to see you around in another video. Bye!